Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pull Up with Limbs and Things. My name is Dr. Chanel James, and I have tonight with me Miss Melissa Koppal of Community Angels. So, tonight we're talking about caregiving, something kind of near and dear to me. I've had a couple of different instances of caregiving, my first being with my great grandmother, Pee Wee, in Texas, where she had a debilitating condition, but my grandmother and her sisters were constantly taking care of her, even though they had a formal caregiver in the house around the clock. So they would always go over at different intervals during the day to turn her, to position her in a different way. And that just made me see the importance of caregiving from a formal aspect as well as an informal aspect, and how you should care for those that are in your family, right? So then there's this other side of being a physical therapist where I see caregivers all the time and of different types. And so you can be a caregiver that has your parent at home, it can be in law at home, it can be even someone who's gone into a facility and needing some assistance as well. And so, from a physical therapist standpoint, I look at caregivers from the aspect of, can you do what is needed for this person? And can you support them in all the ways that they need supporting, whether it's transfers, whether it's just companionship, or assisting them with their ADLs. And so tonight we have Miss Melissa Koppal, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and then introduce us to Community Angels. Welcome, Miss Koppal. How are you?
Thank you so much, Dr. Chanel James.
You're welcome.
I'm super excited to be here with you and just honored that you've asked me to be here tonight.
Sure.
Caregiving is very near and dear to my heart. It's personal.
Mm-hmm.
I've made it into a professional, but it starts with the personal for me. My name is Melissa Koppel, and I am with Community Angels Nursing Services. And I have been with this agency for over a year, and
Mm-hmm.
I will truly say that I have finally found my professional home.
Okay.
We are owned and operated by registered nurses. So it truly starts at the top with us. And they have been nurses for so many years and they truly care. It started as a mission to support nurses by way of CPR training and other trainings to be sure that their licenses are in order.
Mm-hmm.
And then that mission developed deeper into caring for those who are at home. I'm truly honored and blessed to be a part of this team because it truly, my dad inspired me to go into the home care business. He's at home living with dementia.
Yeah.
And he's the guy where you definitely know that he needs to stay home and
Mm-hmm.
have all the love and support around him so he can stay safe and so he can thrive. And I've been in this business for 20 years by way of senior living and helping my clients navigate
Mm-hmm.
this senior living business. What does it mean? What do they do? Who do they choose? And I spent 20 years of my life helping them choose the right setting. And, coming over to Community Angels Nursing Services, I definitely didn't skip a beat. And, we're doing some great things for the state of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so proud to be a part of this agency.
Good. So let's talk about a formal caregiver, and the qualities that you guys look for in formal caregivers.
Yeah, so definitely, when you're thinking about hiring a formal caregiver, first and foremost, what are they in the business for? Is it just to collect a paycheck? Or is it truly to care, to provide good service? Have they been professionally trained? Whether they're fresh out of school or not, but definitely having that education behind them is so important. We pride ourselves on getting to know our caregivers, new and current, our new and veteran, as we say.
Okay.
Um, but to meet with them to really get an idea of, what are you in this business for? Because at the end of the day, when they're out there caring for our clients, they're representing us. And it's very important that they're in this business for the right reason. Of course, we all need to pay our bills, absolutely. But you need to come into this business with a air of servitude,
Uh-huh.
to know that you are the professional, that your clients really need you. That's why they called us, and that you show up and you do the right thing. And I will say, honestly, I cannot do my job without my team. And they are so supportive. Our caregivers are so caring. They go above and beyond. Even our nursing supervisor, who's in charge of the caregivers, when she goes in to do an assessment, it's a bit more than what do we need to do from a home care perspective. It's what is going on with this client from a true clinical perspective,
Uh-huh.
to also give advice. You may want to follow up with your doctor about this or that,
Yeah.
or, this particular equipment is good for you. That's who we are. And that's what we also expect, from our caregivers, not only for them to be professional and to be professionally trained, but to truly care, because we all do.
Yeah, that's so important. The caring aspect of caregiving. Sometimes we don't see that. I come from a skilled nursing background, and a lot of times I would see people who were there to caregive, and some had the right attitude and some did not. So I
Yeah.
definitely understand the importance of making sure that you have that attitude of servitude.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely all about the attitude. And just like you, Dr. James, I started in skilled nursing,
Mhm.
just admissions, marketing, business development, just helping families that are so distraught with everything that's going on, trying to make the best decision for their family member. And, again, being able to sit down with them and talk with them about options on behalf of, the skilled nursing that I was working for at the time, and
Uh-huh.
truly help them make a great decision. And, for those who may be watching, and those who have known me for so many years and have worked with me, they know that when Melissa says it should happen, it needs to happen.
All right. That's great. So
Yeah.
we want to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions. So in the comments, if you've been a caregiver, let us know that. If you have had an instance where you've watched somebody else caregive, or if you have a question for Miss Koppel, or about community angels or physical therapy in relation to caregiving, please put that in the comments as well. So you do have a question over here. It says, do you know anything about VA's aid and assist benefits for veterans?
Sure. So that is VA aid and attendance.
Mhm.
That is a benefit for veterans that have served. And it is an application process. You can usually get that information from your local VA or a VA hospital, or if by chance you have a social worker that is connected with you. But what those benefits will do is afford you to continue to thrive at home. So essentially, you would go through the application process, and once approved, you could receive a check, if you will, and you can use those monies to actually pay for home care. So it saves. It helps to really keep you being a good steward over your money. And for those who do need the additional help and they really do need care at home, it's definitely a great benefit for our veterans. I will say that we do serve veterans. We're definitely a proud provider of veterans through the VA Community Care Network. Um, and how that works is, we would simply receive a call from VA hospitals, from the case management departments, and they'll give us information, a referral, if you will.
Okay.
And the first initial conversation start with me, being the liaison for Community Angels Nursing Services, and I would meet with the veteran and their family, get an idea of what services they need, and provide that feedback to our agency. To boot, we would have our registered nurse come out and do a free assessment to clinically put it all together for us. And with everything that I learn and everything that our nurse will learn through her clinical assessment, that's how we find the best caregiver for our veterans. So again, we are a proud provider of veterans, and definitely check out the VA aid and attendance. Again, it's for veterans that have served. There are a lot of different options under that. So I would encourage you, if you feel that your family member, or if you are a veteran or you were a veteran, to check that out, because it definitely could serve you well at home.
Got it. From the standpoint of community angels, when you all are determining if someone needs care, what are the things that you're looking for?
Yeah, so for someone that, when we're determining that someone needs care, we're looking truly at their home situation. What's going on at home? Do they have enough food? What is their nutrition like? Are they following doctor's orders with special diets? Usually not, but that's okay. What's going on with their medication management? Are they taking their medications the way they should be? Looking at their skin, is their skin intact? As our nurses would say. Are they dehydrated? What is going on with their ADLs, which is activities of daily living? Do they need assistance with bathing and dressing and grooming? Are they safe using their walker and to get around their home? What exactly, would a day in a life look like for our caregiver? That's what we're sizing up, and just truly having those hard conversations. What I find when I do receive a call regarding a new client is it's really hard for them to start this conversation.
Right.
You have some very independent, whether it's physically or independent minded people. And it's hard for them to accept the fact that they need help. It's a private thing. And
Yeah.
then to boot, we're talking about finances. It's really entering into a zone where, okay, this is something that they may not be comfortable with. So it's extremely important that I help them understand that I am truly here to help them, and to gain their trust so that they can divulge all of the information that I need to be able to put the best plan together for them. But again, just simply needing assistance around your home, whether it's companion care, or some light housekeeping, that's what the home care business is really all about.
That was a great description of what you all do. Let's see, we have another question that says, do you believe it is better to be an in home caregiver for your family members?
Wow, that's a great question. I'm gonna just talk personal experience first before we tie it into the professional. Um, my dad is at home right now, living with dementia, and it's advanced. We all know, unfortunately, a diagnosis like that, it's not going to get better, but you just try to manage it the best way that you can.
Right.
And right now, my stepmom, is his primary caregiver,
Mhm.
and it's hard. She's tired. She barely has time for herself. And so we truly had to have a family meeting and come up with a plan to get her some help. And, although it's not that the stresses of worrying about him goes away, that never goes away, but to be able to call on an agency to help you, give your husband a shower, a good shower, cook him a meal, just kind of keep him company, make sure that his days are thriving and he's just as joyful as he possibly can be.
Yeah.
It helps. Being a family member and being a caregiver is super hard. And to be honest with you, the hard reality is we're not all cut out for it. We're not. And you can go as far as you possibly can, but I encourage you to reach out for help. And this is me kind of looking in the mirror also, because it's very hard to realize that you need help. Maybe you feel guilty. Maybe you feel like you failed your loved one, but it's truly none of those things. Your still a good wife, a good husband, a good daughter, a good son if you reach out for help. That's really the best thing that you can do. And I would say, again, if you want to be the caregiver for your loved one, be the champion. Truly, do all that you can do because it's family. But when you know that you have reached your limit, accept that and be bold enough to reach out for help.
That's a really good way to describe it. I have a personal story very similar to yours with my mother in law who had dementia as well. And so I know firsthand how that can be taxing on a family. But the importance of convincing someone that they need the caregiver support is so important, especially when the person is younger or they're still working or the person has more of a challenge to overcome than you are able to provide for them. So yes,
Right.
I totally agree with what you were saying. So here's another one. We know just how you were alluding to before, all caregivers can get burned out. So is there any help that caregivers can benefit from that you're aware of?
Yeah. Whether it's a professional caregiver or a family member that's your caregiver, um, take your breaks. Take your breaks. The best thing that you can do is to take care of yourself so you can truly be strong for your family member, whether it's you're the caregiver personally or you need to kind of get the pen and paper out and get your fingers ready to do some serious researching about the agency that you want to hire. It's extremely important to do your research. I pride myself in my entire career in truly only working with those who have a great reputation, those who are the best of the best. We all work hard and we do our best, but it's important to be a part of an agency or organization that puts quality first, because as a caregiver for a family member, you're putting quality first. So it's okay to have expectations, um, but definitely take your breaks. It's okay to do that. You're not neglecting anyone. Again, if you're going to be your best self, you need to take care of yourself.
Right. Very true. You don't want to pour from an empty glass. You have to be full too.
So true.
Yeah. So that's very important for all caregivers. I come across a lot of them who, some of which are formal. So the formal caregivers, when I am working with them, sometimes they go and take a break. There's some that do that, right? And then there's some that stay around and watch therapy. I tend to appreciate both though, from the standpoint of the person who's actually there. They're probably taking in what I'm doing so they can carry it over throughout the day until I'm seeing the person again. Or those who are actually taking the break knowing that they need the reprieve, right?
Yes.
So definitely agree with that. Let's see. Is there anything you want to share yourself that we have not already touched on?
Sure. One of the things that I wanted to highlight regarding Community Angels is, we, again, have been in business for 6 years and it starts at the top. And we are owned and operated by some bona fide nurses. These are some old school nurses that truly, truly care. And at the beginning of my career, I would say that I was groomed by some old school nurses. So it's a blessing to me to be a part of this agency. Also, not only do we provide companion care, but we do provide skilled care. And when I say skilled care, it's pretty unique. So we don't provide the physical, occupational, or speech therapy. With the physical therapy standpoint, we would happily call on Dr. Chanel James with Limbs and Things. When I say skilled care, I mean nursing. So if someone needed, any IV therapy at home, wound care, diabetic support at home, that's when you can actually hire a nurse to provide those services. And we can provide that as well to our clients that are at home, following doctor's orders, leaving a skilled nursing facility. That's what we can do. Also, we have a staffing model. So during this pandemic, A lot of the skilled communities, skilled facilities, and assisted living communities, they were hit so hard, with COVID, and it truly just disrupted and devastated everything and everyone involved. And we were so proud to partner with so many communities and facilities to go in there on the front line with them and stand tall with them and help them through it. We've helped so many communities through this pandemic. And, it's truly, again, you lead with servitude. You don't walk into the front lines of COVID because you want to. You walk into the front lines of COVID because you're called to. And that's truly what Community Angels is all about. And, you know, we partner with those communities and stand tall with them. We've helped so many get through their time. And it was truly a blessing just to sit back, because I'm not a nurse. I just simply, hear the need and coordinate and make it happen. I'm not the nurse showing up, but I was truly in awe of our nurses
Mm-hmm.
because it was hard,
Yeah.
but they showed up every day and they kept going and they kept encouraging the team at hand, and they all got through it together. And it's just amazing, absolutely amazing, what our nurses do. I truly can't say thank you enough. The
Yeah.
only thing that I can do is just be my best self so I can support them.
That's awesome. Yeah. So another question I had, for people who are trying to determine the financial obligation for having someone to care for their loved one at home, how would they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So you can reach me directly on my mobile, no matter where I am, no matter what day of week it is, no matter what time of day, at 301 351 1777. We also have a main website where you can, send in your information and request that I give you a call back at www.communityangelsinc.com. Having those financial conversations, it's not easy. Everyone has their breaking point financially.
Mm-hmm.
One of the great things about Community Angels Nursing Services is we are a proud provider of Maryland Medicaid waiver. So we care for those who can't afford to have the care,
Mm-hmm.
and we do it because that's the right thing to do. So with our clients that are under the Maryland Medicaid waiver, they are connected with support planners. And we have great relationships with all of the support planners out there. And they'll give me a call and say, I have a new client. They need your help for one reason or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I reach out to that client and I give them the love and the respect that they deserve. And I hear them and I write it down, because, again, if Melissa says it's going to be done, it's going to be done, and it's going to be done right.
That's right.
And, we show up and we do what we need to do for them, truly, no matter what their payer is. With that said, for our private pay clients, our prices are pretty affordable. We really want this to work. That's what servitude is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Again, don't get me wrong, everyone has to pay their bills, and we do, but we try to keep the person centered care in front of us, when we're talking with a family and discussing the price to really make it affordable. And that's what I pride myself on doing. Those conversations start with me. So I'm the one that you're actually talking to. And I'm sizing up what's needed and hearing you. And then we really get down to it and start talking about price. And I meet people where they are, because that's what's needed. And if we need to make some adjustments to make it affordable, I have the freedom to do that. And I have the support of my owners to allow me to do that. And that's one of the great, great benefits of coming on with Community Angels, because it's a family and we truly do care.
That's great. Now I can vouch for Melissa. She is a great person to know, and she has a great heart too. So let's see.
Mhm.
We have a question now. Community Angels is mainly in Maryland. But let's see if you can answer this one. Does Medicare provide help for DC residents?
So Medicare can provide assistance really to all, no matter where you live. So whether it's Maryland or DC now or Virginia. Now, Community Angels Nursing Services, we only provide services in Maryland. And with respect to Medicaid, we only accept Maryland Medicaid waiver. Now, with Medicare, to the question about Medicare, usually Medicare will pay for services. However, it's usually following a hospital stay or a skilled rehab stay where the doctors and the therapists are, writing an order for said client to have physical therapy at home, occupational therapy at home, speech therapy at home. With those agencies, that is home health. We are home care. So with home health, there is a component of having a caregiver, but it's not as consistent or routine as you would have by hiring a home care agency such as mine. So to answer your question, Medicare can pay, but it has to be, within the requirements of what they pay for.
Oh, I'm glad you're getting into this because I think a lot of us get confused between home care and home health. And then even with therapy, knowing that because I don't do either one of those, but it's after you had possibly a hospital stay and you've had home care, or you can have therapy actually while you're doing home care but not during a home health episode. So that it's very important that we understand all of the ways that you can get assistance, but home care kind of transcends all of those. You can have the home care doing any of those episodes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we have been alongside some great home health agencies. We take care of the private care, the home care, if you will, and the families will pay us privately for that while, Medicare is, taking care of their part with the physical therapy side, the occupational speech therapy.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I thank you so much for joining. If there's anyone else that has a question, burning question you want to get on here before we end, please put it in the comments. If not, Ms. Koppel, will you give us your final thought?
Yes. So, one, I truly appreciate this opportunity.
Of
This
course.
has definitely been rewarding for me. I said to Dr. Chanel James that, I surround myself with great people in the business. And, usually folks say to me, "Oh, you're so encouraging, you're so inspiring, you push me to be my best self." And it's funny when the mirror turns on you. And Dr. Chanel James has truly pushed me outside of my comfort level to do this live. But I am super thankful that I did.
Good.
One thing that I will leave you all with is to just be kind, be encouraging. No matter what you do for a living, remember that you are called to serve. And it's very important that you show up and you do the right thing and you be there for others because it's really rough right now for a lot of people. There are a lot of seniors that are lonely and they just simply need, someone nice to talk to. So just remember that when you're going throughout your day, just say to yourself, have I done all that I could do to, make someone smile? Or, what can I do, to encourage someone to get through their day? I do it every day and I'm not going to change. And I absolutely love what I do. And again, I'm just so thankful that I am a part of Community Angels Nursing Services because we truly do care and we have cared for 6 years and we're here to stay and we're here to help.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. The information is down at the bottom of the screen for how you can get in touch with Community Angels, specifically Miss Melissa Koppel. And you can also reach them on their website at communityangelsinc.com. I hope you've gotten something out of this information that we've shared tonight about caregivers. I think there's one comment. Oh, thank you for the good advice for family wanting to give care. You're welcome.
Yes, absolutely.
So we thank you all so much. Have a great evening. And remember, this information is to help confirm something you know, to challenge something you don't know, and for you to share that information with someone else. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Bye.
Bye bye.